Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Ric Flair teases Ashley getting involved backstage during his last match. Wrestling legends Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett have had an eventful early week, as it was revealed during Monday's WWE Raw that Flair would team up with his son-in-law Andrade El Idolo to face fellow WWE Hall of Famer Jarrett and current AEW/Ring of Honor star Jay Lethal for his final fight. Now that we finally know the competitors, it's natural to expect some drama between them in the lead up to StarCast 5 and Ric Flair's last match on July 31st, and on the latest episode of To Be The Man, co-host Conrad Thompson revealed that Jarrett, on his own podcast, called El Idolo a curtain jerker. Quote, "That doesn't get under my skin, but man, has Andrade heard that line yet? When will he hear that?" Flair asked. "He'll hear it today," Thompson replied. "And this will not only be Ric Flair's last match, this will be Jeff Jarrett's last match." Flair laughed, considering the trouble Jarrett may have gotten himself into by disrespecting El Idolo. "He needs to go spend a week in Durango, see where that kid grew up in the streets of," Flair said. "Holy shit, I love that. I'm gonna call Andrade ASAP." El Idolo, a former NXT champion and United States champion during his time in WWE, recently married Flair's daughter Ashley, known professionally as Charlotte Flair, arguably the most decorated female performer in wrestling history. Charlotte has been on hiatus from WWE since losing the SmackDown Women's Championship to Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania Backlash, but she is reportedly on her way back this summer. While Ric Flair's last match doesn't technically involve contracted WWE talent, Jarrett works for WWE but not as a wrestler, though he will be the special guest referee for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship match at WWE SummerSlam the same weekend. Flair teased the possibility of Charlotte getting involved after Jarrett's comments. Quote, "Can I tell you something right now?" Flair said, "and I'm saying this from my heart, and you know her very well. Jeff, if she sees him behind the curtain, may get the shit beat out of him by Ashley before he ever gets in the effing ring. She stands by her man," Flair continued. "Good lord, I wouldn't want her coming at me 100 miles an hour. This was not a smart comment, especially to her husband. If she wasn't coming, I know she's there now. Both him and Karen, they better walk around her on glass." It was reported earlier this week that Ric Flair is reportedly hurt right now and dealing with a foot injury, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio. The Nature Boy is just weeks away from competing in his final ever wrestling match at StarCast 5 on July 31st. While he is currently hurt, Flair is expected to still be able to compete in the match and put on the encounter that will be headlining the show. From the moment it was announced that the 73-year-old would be returning to compete for the first time since 2011, when he competed against Sting for TNA, there has been some concern. That was primarily over Flair's general health, with the former WWE superstar having a pacemaker fitted, but during the press conference for the show, he claimed he was able to work around his issues, admitting that his inner ear and blood thinner medication concerns alongside his pacemaker. Quote, "There are two things that could go wrong," Flair said. "My heart's pacemaker could come unplugged, but I can plug that back in. When it comes to the issue surrounding his blood thinners, he simply stated he just won't take one that day." Flair has shared plenty of footage of himself training to get in shape, as he has been actively training inside the ring with AEW's Jay Lethal, his opponent at the event. It's unclear whether it was during this training session that the Nature Boy picked up his foot injury, but the videos have shown him even taking a bump from the top turnbuckle. When it comes to Jeff Jarrett, considering the fact that Jarrett is currently working as WWE's Senior Vice President of Live Events, there was some surprise that he was involved in the event, but because he doesn't have a talent contract with the company, it is possible. While WWE talent has been booked by Conrad Thompson before, such as The Undertaker, they were ultimately pulled by the company. This will not be the case in regards to Jarrett's involvement in the match, as everything has reportedly been worked out when it comes to this deal. The show is featuring talent from a variety of different promotions, with the show featuring a stacked card that also includes the Briscoes facing the Von Erichs and Killer Cross against Harry Smith, amongst others. It's going to be a busy weekend for Jarrett, as not only will he be headlining the show, which is available on Fight, but he will also be the special guest referee at SummerSlam in the Undisputed Tag Team Championship encounter between the Usos and the Street Profits, after their recent encounters have seen mistakes from the officials as part of the storyline. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.